Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is BaldBoldBear and welcome to BaldBoldBear Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about The Last of Us 2. I've got a lot to say about it, so in this review we're going to be talking about everything to do with the game. So yeah, let's get straight into this discussion. So, to be honest, the more that I thought about this game, I really didn't want a sequel to The Last of Us. They just wrapped up the game pretty damn well, you know? It was wrapped up so nicely, you know, Naughty Dog. They decided, alright, let's drop a sequel to this game because everyone wanted it, which wasn't true at all. Because, as I said, the first one did wrap itself up pretty nicely, which, well, for me, I wouldn't have minded a sequel because I really wanted more of these characters, you know, but it didn't need a sequel because I think they left it off at a good point that, you know, it was such a good story and masterpiece that I felt like you didn't really need anything else, you know. And goddamn, I swear sequels never live up to expectations. It's just, I was coming into this quite excited, you know, and then I saw reviews and everything and I was like, oh crap, what have I got myself into, you know, buying this day one. I gotta admit, I was just left disappointed with the game. I was just left so disappointed. I think it just doesn't compare to The Last of Us 1. The first games are always so damn good. When the first games are so damn good, you just expect the second one to be just better, you know, in every other way. However, this wasn't the case with this. So I'll take that back. Maybe the gameplay was good and maybe the visuals were better. Obviously, how many years in the making it was made. But damn, when you compare the story, with these games, they're supposed to be more narrative-driven games, you know? The storytelling's supposed to be so good, and the narrative's supposed to be great. So you just expect that from the sequel, you know? However, this game just didn't deliver. And it didn't keep me interested at all. That was one of the sole reasons why I'd stopped uploading it on this channel. I played it, and it felt like I had to force myself to play it. As shit as that sounds, you know? I had to force myself to play it, because so early on, it's quite interesting, and then just knock it right off, and you just feel like, oh, man, the pacing of this game. Like, do I really have to keep suffering? I seriously have to keep playing this game too, because I want to see the ending. I want to see how it ends. They just, I don't know. I was just left so disappointed. Not to say that this was all bad. Not to say that the whole game was bad. There were some good parts, which were quite memorable. However, I just didn't feel like this game had the oomph, you know? It just didn't have what the first one had. If we talk about the story and character development, the main concept that they tried to push on all the players was revenge. I mean, as I said, they hammered it down onto the player and just let them know that revenge is bad, guys. And if you get your revenge, you suffer the consequences. I mean, that's all they let you know. There were so many instances of that. This whole game was full of it. But the problem with that is that it's so damn simple. Whereas when you have the first story about what that was all about, and then compare it with a sequel on how such a generic and simple story that this has, it just doesn't live up to the great story as the first one, you know? And they could have executed that a lot better. You know, maybe change up the story a bit more instead of pushing down this one thing. Like I said, it's like a little rant. This, even though I want to review this, it's like a little rant because I was so excited with the game. I was so excited for the game, and how they just executed it was, like I said, disappointing. You know, I think comparing to the first game just shows how easy. Like compared to the first game, it's so easy to show why I'm disappointed with it. You know, especially with the first part, character development was such a big part of it. Character development and narrative was such a big part of it. That's why everyone loved the game so much. Okay, there may be mixed reviews with the first one, but with character development, you saw how characters advanced from the start to the finish. For example, like when you first met Joel, he was a guy that just lost his daughter, lost pretty much everything, and then gets assigned a package, or Ellie at first, just, you know, doing his job. He had to escort her essentially, or deliver the package from one place to another. And then you see how he suddenly gains a relationship with her. Like, it's like a father and daughter relationship again. It's like he's got Sarah back, you know, and you see him become human again. Everything you go through is great in that game. And the development, like I just said there, it's literally there. The development is there, whereas this game just didn't have that. I just don't understand. This game just felt empty and stale in parts. Like, as I said before, don't get me wrong, there are quite solid parts. Some characters are cool, like Lev and Yara. Some of the coolest characters that I've seen in this game. They were awesome, they were intriguing. That section with Abby, when you get to play as her, and you get to see Lev and Yara and their story, is perfect. And then instances where, when you go to flashbacks with Joel and Ellie, that part where there was a ton of zombies, and then you fight that big bloater, that was awesome. That was bloody awesome, and I just wanted to keep playing that because it was mad fast paced. Or maybe even the end of the game where you get to run and gun with Ellie. It didn't feel like Last of Us, which was pretty cool. I don't know, I really liked that about the game. The gameplay was great. It just felt that the characters were so bland and just not built up enough, if that makes sense. That's why we didn't even really care for them that much. Like, for example, Abby being a new character to this, a main character that we got to play as, for example, us playing as the villain, because of the memories on how, or the order of how they did things, it just didn't feel like we could show any affection towards Abby. We get introduced to her and then she just kills one of the main characters of the game, just like that, with no backstory, nothing, which felt so shit. Because, okay, we knew Joel was gonna die. He had to die, you know, by looking at trailers and everything like that, we just knew it had to happen. But how they killed him off was just like, okay, my reaction, I was sad, you know. But it's how they did it. It just didn't feel like anything, really. It just didn't. Because it was Abby. It was by the hands of Abby. And we don't even have any backstory on her. But then later on, they make you go through like a 10-hour section with her just to know her backstory and all that good stuff. But at the end of that, by that time, you're just not interested in the game anymore because of the pacing is, oh my god. They make you do so many tedious things that you just can't be bothered to continue on. That's really the reason why there's a lot of gripes with the game. You know, there's so much to complain about. But not to, like I said, not to say that there's not good parts of the game, because there are good parts. But it's just, it's overshadowed by a lot of the bad parts and bad decision making, bad storytelling. It's just, goodness gracious, it just overshadows all the good, you know, and a lot of people will start to ignore that. So the gameplay and visuals, really good. I really did like the look of the game. It was beautiful. The lighting, the environments, like a lot of jungly places, and the buildings were cool as well. Like I said, it's really good. They stand out. Naughty Dog do a really good job when it comes to the environments and the visuals of their game. Like when you compare it to the first one and this one, it's night and day. You can see the difference, and I really enjoyed that. That's why playing this game again, it felt great, because you got to play Last of Us again, you know, with all these small corridors and dark areas with all these infected and humans and running gun sections, hiding, stealth move. It was great. I enjoyed playing as Ellie and Abby in this game, albeit it was a very similar game style, gameplay wise, but we got to prone. It was a bit faster. It just feel a lot faster, the combat. But yeah, like I said, the gameplay is great. The gameplay, I felt great because there was new infected as well, and just overall playing it, it felt much better than the first one, which I don't have any complaints about. I can honestly play this game again if I wanted to just play encounters. I really did enjoy them. It felt great, especially playing as Ellie with all the stuff that she had. There was some parts to like boss fights come in at the end of the game where you have to play as Abby and you have to fight Ellie. I don't know who made that decision. Gameplay wise, I did not enjoy that fight. If you watch my video that will be linked right now, you can see that I just got Abby killed straight away because I ain't killing Ellie. Come on, who made that decision? That's stupid. But like boss fights as well, they were fun. Obviously, they were very similar to other games that they've got as well, like Uncharted. They've got that section where you're always dodging, then attack. You have to follow the patterns, you know, nice and generic boss fights, which did get repetitive after because they did feel like the same boss pretty much. But it's whatever. You know, I can look past that. It is lazy design, but like I said, I can look past those things. As I said, like the last fight as well, same thing. The dodge, attack, and that was like Uncharted and all that. I think they need to step up on their boss fights maybe. Like the boss fight, the Resident Evil style boss fight in the hospital. I mean, albeit it was one of those typical run and gun boss fights, but I enjoyed it personally. It was dark and you just felt like, oh crap, you're on your own versus this big ass monster. Albeit it's a bit weird, but I enjoyed it. I personally did enjoy it. And then that mini boss fight with that little crawler, it was cool. It was cool. No complaints there really. But overall, it was good. I enjoyed the gameplay and the visuals. Albeit there was some glitches that we did run into during the game, which did mess up the overall cutscenes. But we can look past that. You know, there's little things. We can look past that. It's not a problem. The score to this game, or the soundtrack, perfect. Everything that I knew The Last of Us would do. The first game had such good score that I think they brought back the same guy for this one, and that's why all the music sounded very similar, and I have no complaints there. It sounded amazing, and I love the music in The Last of Us, and that's what really drives the narrative, or drives the game. When you have certain sections with the music involved, like this emotional sections, it's great. It ties in all so well together, and yeah, I really did overall enjoy it. I think the final score that I'm going to give this game is a 6 out of 10. When I compare it to Last of Us 1, it really does fall short. I think the first one I gave it about a 10 out of 10. I haven't made a video on this game, but I do give it maybe a 9 or 10 out of 10 because it was amazing. Whereas this one did fall short. There was many flaws with it. Story is, like I said, it's a narrative-driven game. The story is a big part of the game, but when you don't execute that, it kind of just falls off. It feels empty and bland. When you don't advance your characters, or if you mess up the order of different things, it just doesn't make sense. If they switch some stuff around, or even made a separate game for Abby's adventure or something like that, so that we can actually get some backstory of her and why she's doing what she is, then Last of Us 2, it would have made more sense. Whereas the order of this game was just so messed up that we just didn't know what was going on, and that's where it falls short, really. Like I said, everything else is good. It's a good game. It's a good game. It plays well, but it's that one gripe. It's very important in a game like that. He's such a good director, Neil Druckmann, but the decisions he made in this game, it was just not right, you know. I'm not hating just because, you know, I really do like this game. It's cool that they got the main roles to be female in this game, but it's just execution. The execution wasn't there, and that's why I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Like I said, I could play this game again. It's not a bad game, but like I said, it falls short. And we're comparing to Last of Us 1 because if this game didn't have the Last of Us title, then maybe we would have looked past it a bit. And then you have a typical revenge plot where, okay, you killed him, so I'm gonna kill you for killing him, and then you killed my other friend, so I'm gonna kill you for killing them, and then you both are gonna fight at the end. It's like, Joel did do bad things. I can understand why she wanted that revenge. It's a bit mixed whether she should have killed her or not, but, you know, ultimately, I feel like they've opened up that they might make possibly a new game, and I hope they don't, because that felt like the end. And I think that that's a good place to end it. Last of Us, I think, is done. Please do not announce the third one. I don't think there's any room for a third one or even any DLC. If they do, I don't know if I'm going to be interested. I'm going to be playing it for the sake of it, but I think I'm kind of done with this unless they make some smart decisions with the story. And that's my 2 cents really with this review. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please leave a like and maybe consider subscribing to the channel. There will be more reviews on this channel. I will be making reviews on anything that I watch or like or games that I play in the future. This was quite fun. So yeah, this has been BaldBoldBear and I'm signing out. Thank you for watching BaldBoldBear Reviews. Peace out.